Brian Windhorst just gave us a whole bunch of insight on what's going on with the Lakers and LeBron James. And just to sum it up, in case you're just joining us or maybe watching us later on our YouTube stream, hello, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show viewers. We appreciate you watching here, and hit the subscribe button if you already haven't. He basically said that, yeah, LeBron did put this roster together with Rob Pelinka and the Lakers. And yeah, he knows it's not working, and yeah, he knows it's his idea, but that doesn't matter anymore. He now wants it changed. And he wanted it changed at the trade deadline, and it didn't happen, and he wasn't terribly happy about that, so he expects it to happen during the free agency period and new league year period coming up this summer. And I asked him, what Rich Paul client he might be interested in. Is it cynical to think that? And he said, it's not cynical to think that, but Rich Paul did, in fact, give them a whole bunch of players that helped them win in the bubble. And I then said, well, which ones does he have in mind? And he said it would just be anybody, not just Rich Paul clients that he has in mind. And he kind of turned down the opportunity to say names, saying what? That he would get hammered on certain aggregation sites, is the way you put it?
Yeah, the aggregators would come for him.
Okay, so, but he said that what he for sure can say is that LeBron James wants action, and that the Lakers should consider it because the Cavaliers once upon a time did that to keep LeBron happy. And what they did is they traded a whole bunch of players. And he said that was not just to bring in who LeBron wanted, but it created a more engaged LeBron. Like the Cavs figured they traded for a more engaged LeBron, which is what clearly the Lakers want. And I'm saying the Lakers will sit there and think about the problem that Brian laid out, which is trading away at 27 and 29 first-round draft choices. He's going to be long gone. Yeah. And what does that leave them with? You remember when they paid Kobe all that money towards the end of his career,
like
and the question,
$50 million,
and how that kind of hamstrung their ability to win a championship with Kobe in his final days as a Laker. May he rest in peace. And how that was kind of the undercurrent of his farewell, is that it wasn't a championship team and they couldn't put one around him. And wasn't that a shame? But I think the Lakers wouldn't have changed a damn thing about the way that Kobe said farewell. And that's what the Lakers are about. They're about sending off their all-time greats. And I know LeBron isn't their all-time great, but he is an all-time great, and he can be their all-time great if they trade for the people right now to win it. Okay, it's not like they pay him so much money they can't make these moves to try and surround him before he retires. They can actually make the moves to give him what he wants and do their best, one last roll of the dice that this is, in fact, the championship team they can put around him. And all it is just mortgaging the future. They kind of mortgaged the present, right? When Kobe was saying farewell. This is now mortgaging the future. And if they can have LeBron win and saying farewell, or a more engaged LeBron as he says farewell, even if it might not be for a championship, rolling the dice and hitting the jackpot of saying farewell to LeBron by hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy and having a parade downtown here in Los Angeles is exactly what the Lakers are all about. And if it doesn't work out, then they send him off with a huge farewell that he's happy about and they're happy about, and the amount of gear and tickets and interest on the team through the roof. So I think when it's all said and done, they're going to give LeBron what he wants and roll the dice and trade all these first-rounders and mortgage the future to try and win the championship right here, right now, and maybe have him stick around for Bronny and have that Griffey tour right here in Los Angeles. I think that's what they're going to do rather than just turn it all down. Hour 2 coming up here on the program. What do you have to say?
Well, remember before LeBron got to L.A., the Lakers went through about a decade of just
spinning their wheels.
Yeah, and say what they want, even though they never won a title, the Clippers really did take over. for the Lakers. Like the Clippers were the better team.
Careful, remember I called this town a Clipper town for a hot minute, and the amount of crap I got on this show for that?
I'm never going to say that, but it's kind of undeniable. Like for a decade, the Clippers were better.
So you think they're gonna tell LeBron, we're not mortgaging the future for you right here before he's with 1 year or 2 years left on his deal?
Why would you do that, Rich, and like go back to a decade or maybe more of just bleak times when you already got a championship out of LeBron, right? You already he came here and you did win something, so it's not like you're ever going to leave.
But it's not one that they were able to celebrate downtown, and it's not one that's going to be.
So you're gonna mortgage your future just to have a parade?
I mean, they're about winning championships here in this town.
They won a championship with him. So why would you give up?
Ish.
Well, I mean,
ish. I'm sorry. I mean, that's the way it's viewed. Ish.
But it's still, the name is on the trophy.
I know.
The name's not
Somebody
on the
had
trophy,
to win it, and they were the ones who did.
They won it.
I understand that.
I just don't know if that's worth going back to those bleak times for them, because if you give up all those picks, you give up all that.
I don't know, man. I don't know. They're about one in the case. And look at what the Rams just did.
Yeah.
F them picks. And that's the mantra here in this town. So if the Lakers don't F them picks for LeBron, that would be a shock to me. That would surprise me to no end. They're about being a piece of Tiffany. They're about international branding. That's what they're about. And if they could trade 27, they could mortgage the future to win right now with LeBron and get the engage LeBron that they want and get this roster right, not the bunch of old geezers, as Barkley referred to them during the NBA All-Star game, right? And get it right and get this thing similar to a 2020 roster and win it and say farewell to LeBron. That's the jackpot. That is the jackpot. So that's what I'm saying. If they're this summer faced with, well, we got to kind of hold our horses a little bit here because we can't mortgage the future, LeBron. That doesn't sound like something the Lakers would do.
Just depends on who. Like Russell Westbrook clearly was a failure.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.